20 billion years ago, as the second age gave way to the third, one last great war raged between Satana's forces of cruel chaos, who had ruled for a sliver of eternity, and the forces of order, who sought to remake things anew. The Supreme called her warlords the pillars of creation. Their purpose was not to bring apocalypse, but to welcome forth the new age. Over time, their true purpose would be forgotten, for such is the fate of legends, and only their names would be remembered. War, famine, pestilence, and death.
Damn, I love demons.
Rest would be remembered.
You preach to the converted, brother. Their vile number seems limitless. 6,666 by my count.
They have numbers, aye, but their arrogance will yet be their undoing. Mark my words, brothers.
They speak true, Sister Pestilence. Even now, my mistress builds a prison to house them. A prison of love. She also knew that we lead them there. This is the word.
Then let us draw succor from it.
And thus it came to pass that the third age began with the vanquishing of evil and the renewal of life. But evil is patient. It clings to the dark places and waits for its moment to strike.
We shall not glory this day, my brothers.
What was won that day was a battle, not the war. That would come later.
We shall not glory this day, my brothers.
Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? We are doing a little different. We're actually doing a throwback to an older version. Truth be told, the reason for this is actually just because, honestly, with me being sick this week, I thought I had lined someone up, and then they couldn't do it, and you know how the rest goes. It got shenanigans-y. I'm just making sure our volume's working. I am Mr. Anderson. We're going to go ahead and roll the beginning of the show. But I wanted to acknowledge that Only Death Can Save Us is the winner of the crowdfunder to back this week. Congratulations to Russ Leach, and we're going to go ahead and hit the intro for the show. I promise it's coming. There were some new things added this week, so I'm getting the right one. We'll go with the intro. Welcome to the COMiX News WiRE, where we get our news from the COMiX newsroom found at comicbookadvocates.com. This show is anchored by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. Join him and his co-anchors as they give you the comics news coming off the wire. This show is brought to you in association with
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
comicbookadvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that, and you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like comicbookadvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, normally on this show, we'd have someone here talking to you. It'd be backer pause, but we decided to do something different because of the not getting anyone to be part of the show today. Let's try out crowdfunding, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo in a New York minute. So what does that mean? Well, it means everything on the show today has 1 minute to win you over. If you like what you see, you'll be able to go to our site at comicbookadvocates.com and hit our crowdfunding link to get you there. And congratulations again to Russ Leach with the win with Only Death Can Save Us. Of course, this was because we did a poll. There's last week's episode with Chuck, who is now the last backer pause we have since this is a different show. I left it there. And if you want some of my earlier work, all it will cost you is an email. Send me your email into a messenger or use our email room, our mail room in here, and send me an email with your email address and just say, send it over to me. So in other words, if you send me the email, you've sent me the email address. You get what I'm saying? So right then and there. And this is not backer pause today. Everything gets 1 minute. So it's a little different. We do these things every so often. And I think this will be interesting. This is how we used to do it. This actually gave birth to backer pause later on. But I'm going to tell you guys about the power of $1 and why $1 matters. Because I think it really does. Never underestimate the power of a single dollar. Just one single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating. And if you're going to be creating something on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, get Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, second edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding by Madeline Holly Rosing and Christy Shin. It is an amazing book that will help you navigate the ins and outs of crowdfunding. All right, and here's our official poll. As you can see, Only Death Can Save Us got 5 votes to Catch the Crazies 4, and Modin had 3. It was a softer vote. I think we might extend it. We might start launching this on Mondays. We brought it to a 24-hour vote to not get in the way of every other days, but clearly this is getting a little confusing for some people. And again, if we're not seeing a lot of traction with this new poll idea, we might just get rid of the polls. This was a choice. A lot of what we do, we test out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No big deal. We move on. Just like John the Animator's project has, they've moved on to being funded. That's right. Congratulations. You can still get to be part of this, and make sure that if you backed it and you had some problems. I know my charge card came up with a fraudulent thing today. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. The reason for the fraudulent thing, by the way, is that what happens is people sometimes have a problem with a crowdfunding thing and they knock it as a bad charge, and then that can cause some crowdfunding issues because it hurts the site itself. There have been some problems. So every so often you might get your charge card hit with a fraudulent charge, and they're just asking you, hey, did you want to do this? Especially because some of them fund so early in the money. Excuse me, so early in the morning that when the money's coming out, it confuses the banks. But John the Animator is now on demand. Go to the Kickstarter link, and it's actually in there. He actually put it so you can get it. So you can still get yours right now. So here's how it's going to work today. We'll read the name and give them 1 minute. So Elysian Fields, the Pyramid Gambit, the Abyssal Tournament for Champions has begun. Team Hades versus Team Orisis. I think I'm saying that wrong. But either way, let's cue it up and play that video for all of 1 minute. Oh, this one doesn't blow up because it's not. We're going to have to open this up on Indiegogo. No big deal. So this won't hurt their time, by the way. Okay, so here we go. Here's the 1 minute start point.
When we left off in the Zero issue, Achilles had made his way from peace in the afterlife to an arena, where he was left to fight alongside King Theseus against the first heroes Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Achilles had begun this fight against the arrogant Gilgamesh at the end of the Zero issue, and that's where we pick up in Elysian Fields, the Pyramid Gambit. In almost 60 pages of story, we see the new Team Hades form and begin their first round in the Abyssal Tournament of Champions together. Heracles, conqueror of the 12 labors. Theseus, slayer of the Minotaur. And Achilles, the hero of the Trojan War, must now face an opponent that has never been defeated before in this arena, the champion of Osiris, Imhotep. With the success of our first campaign, we were able to expand on this book in pretty much every way. We have doubled the size of the story, and brought in talents like...
And if you like what you see, you can go right over to Comic Book Advocates now. It's in our actual, wherever you're watching this, it's in the intro itself, the actual link to this. And you can get your copy or finish watching the video. If the video hadn't fully won you over and you want to see the rest of it, it's available for you now. This successfully has reached its funding goal, but it's now working on stretch goals. This is Spectrum. Let's read the official thing. Spectrum 2 LGBT Superhero Comic, a comic series about a diverse group of LGBT superheroes and their lives, both in and out of costumes. This is Spectrum number 2. And they actually were able to come in under the wire, so that's Spectrum. We got to watch the whole video. Make sure you go over there and support Spectrum, even with $1 for the LGBT superhero comic. This is Catch the Crazies. Let's give them 1 minute. Let's read the official thing, though. Catch the Crazies, a comic book story loosely based on the misadventures of 2 podcasters and their attempt at greatness. So let's give them a minute on the clock.
We need to find a way to grow Catch the Craze.
I know, man, but how?
What are you doing here, Sam? This is crazy. Oh well, it goes nothing. If you can hear me, please help us to be the best podcast in the universe. I thought you'd never ask.
In other news, reports of citizens appearing to be in a zombie-like state are coming in by the dozens. Authorities are investigating this strange phenomenon.
What have you done?
And to find out what they've done, you're going to have to go to comicbookadvocates.com, head on that crowdfunding link, and catch the crazies on Kickstarter and see the rest of that video. Next up, we have the Macabre. Believe that motel. I always say that wrong. I apologize. The Strangely Bizarre Horror One-Shot. Let's see what's going on with this.
Well, hello, guests, and welcome to your orientation to the Macabre Motel. My name is Frank Martin, and I'm not just a founder of this fine establishment. I'm also a resident. I'd like to start this evening by telling you a story about a man who once visited our motel and had himself a very satisfying night. Steve was on his way to see his girlfriend when he was forced to rest for a bit at our tasty abode. He met fabulous residents like Chester and Phil, and of course, good old grumpy Delilah. We weren't too happy when Steve decided to leave us, though, so we did everything we could to make him stay. Steve's story can be found in our 28-page one-shot comic, which is available in several variants, as well as a shiny hollow foil cover. To support our project, please click the Back Now button at the top of the page.
All right, to see the rest of that, just go over to the, again, Comic Book Advocates, and we got you covered. Go up to our little crowdfunding section. And this is an art project, the art of Monty Moore. So check this out.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monty Moore. Welcome to my 5th Kickstarter project, which is for my 9th art book, which is called Montage. It's going to encompass the work from 2015 through 2020, and it's going to have a wider range of both subject and style. And you'll be able to see the works of the last 5 years in oils, acrylics, watercolor, mixed media, and a wider range of subjects as well. And it will include automotive, Western, even some Western cinema, wildlife, and just a lot of artwork that you haven't seen in my previous art books, which were also published through Kickstarter, which mainly focused on my pop culture work. So through direct crowdfunding efforts, I'm able to self-publish my book, control the quality of paper, the printing, the distribution, and all aspects of the book. So please check it out, share it out if you can. Thanks for all the past support, and remember, expect more. Alrighty, let's paint some happy little orcs.
All right, he almost got there. We were actually over 13 seconds over, so I got distracted, but he almost got to the end there. This is Dreamlands, the lives and epics of fantasy adventure. Let's check it out. Give it 1 minute on the clock.
Hi, we are Thanos and Stage, the creative team of Loudmouse Crew Comics. After co-creating Borders, our award-winning illustrated book, we are here launching this new Kickstarter campaign for a new comic book series, Dreamlands, Lives and Epics, Issue 1. In the last days of Dreamlands, our dead world, there's only one human and the stories that were left behind. So, we follow Panatharis, an archivist and archaeologist. He searches for life, and he searches for stories, and looking for hope so he can go through all the despair. And when all the stories of the humans, the dragons, the dwarves, and the entire of Dreamlands are put together in the Ask Me Nasrum, Panatharis' book, magic happens. Dreamlands is a dark fantasy comic with various races, with cosmic...
All right, and if you want to see more of that, go to Kickstarter or check it out on our crowdfunding section of comicbookadvocates.com. And here you go. This is Dino Thrashers back from the past to make evil extinct. Oh, this might be out of frame. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on.
Christian, what is that?
No freaking idea. Any thoughts, Dad?
I'm not sure, Christian, but it has what looks to be raptor prints on it.
That's impossible, Max. Isn't it?
I would certainly think so. Almost there!
Don't break it, Max. We need to examine it and keep it intact.
Like I don't know that, Amanda. Finally! But this is getting stranger by the minute. How in the hell is there a perfectly shaped orb of some sort buried this deep?
Dr. Tracker, let's get it to the tent and examine it.
You're right, Shelby. Let's all move inside. Amanda, what do you think of these designs all over this object? How were they carved into it?
They aren't even carved, Max. They're like etched or lasered into it. What the hell is this thing? No. And look at this piece. It's not even rock. It's some metal of some sort.
No way.
My readings are off the charts, and the carbon dater 3000 can't even tell us what this thing is made of. But it says that it's 4 million years old.
I just don't freaking get it. It's like the what came first riddle, the chicken or the egg. Where in the bloody hell did this come from?
This is quite the brain teaser that we need to figure out and not know.
Oh, sorry, Jack's got me distracted. To see more of that, check out Comic Book Advocates and hit our crowdfunding site. And only death can save us. Well, that we got to feature this, and they get to be part of the rotation.
Only death can save us as a bronze age inspired cosmic fantasy run, bringing together action and pathos as the ancient elemental known as death leaps from his
Sign up exclusively in Indiegogo from the Death Can Save Us.
That was weird in the middle of that. I don't know if you guys kicked out. We stopped having the screen share, but I don't know. I'll go back and look at it later. But for now, let's move on to Seasons Volume 2, the summer edition.
I'm Nandor Fox Schaefer. I'm the creator and writer of Seasons.
I'm Anthony Gonzalez Clark. I'm the artist of Seasons.
And we are back.
And we're back.
Seasons Volume 2 Summer is the second in the planned 4-volume graphic novel series. The story will pick up right after the events of Seasons Volume 1 Spring, continuing the extraordinary one-year journey of Fletcher. In summer, Fletcher will have to cope with the life-altering events of spring and attempt to find his footing as a new man in this unpredictable world. Now homeless and in need of answers, he befriends a mysterious figure who also manifests supernatural abilities, and they embark together on a trek across America that will bring them face to face against the literal forces of nature. Where spring took Fletcher to the pit of inner turmoil, summer will drag him through the wilderness of outer antagonism where he has no control, only the will to surrender. Anthony and I began Seasons as a...
All right, so you can find this at seasonsthecomicbook.com. The Rumble... Excuse me, the Rumble Kings are on Kickstarter for issues 1 through 3, surrounded on all sides. The Rumble Kings make their final stand. Seed Seekers is on Indiegogo, I believe. Yes, Indiegogo. This is the animation of the Seed Seekers. So, here you go.
Long ago, before the war, there was a great king, a king among kings, who helped build a strong community from love, support, and the sea. Every generation since has passed it down to the next, until its path was thwarted by a strong wizard who wanted its power for their own. See how and why it all began in our new volume, Seed Seeker Legacy.
All right, Martha can be found on Indiegogo now with Seed Seekers. This is 13th Moon Anthology, which does not have a video for us to see. It's an exciting new 52-page comic anthology comprised of 7 stories rendered by a diverse team that spans the earth, and they're 55% funded. Our friend Sebastian Chow brings us Rocket Girl, and he was just on the show this weekend. Rocket Girl's children's storybook, creating a children's book from the short story film The Rocket Girl.
Hello there, my name is Kai and I'm a filmmaker, YouTuber, husband and dad. And today I'm here to talk to you about the children's book Rocket Girl. Now the unique thing about Rocket Girl is that it actually already is a short film that exists online. I created it with my family, my wife and daughter, while we were in lockdown earlier this year. And it shows the world through the eyes of little Naya, who dreams of going into space, and in particular, the moon.
I always dreamed of going into space to see the universe.
Now, the reception for that short film has been really good. It was officially selected by a number of film festivals and has featured in our local online news. And you can actually go and watch that short.
You can even watch the short film or the rest of this video by going to comicbookadvocates.com and hitting that link for the social media. Our friend is back. Rob Mulatari is back on Kickstarter. Great name. Let's check out this awesome, I want to say, it's a volume. Volume 1 of Nightwolf.
Do you love stories about anti-heroes, supernatural beings like werewolves, vampires, demons, witches, and more? Then Nightwolf is the comic book series for you. Nightwolf has proven to be a fan favorite with its unique take on the supernatural, theology, mythology, and fantasy. The story encompasses elements of horror, magic, and science in a modern setting. Hi, I'm Robert A. Malteri. I'm the creator and writer of Nightwolf and the founder of Lone Wolf Comics. It's been my dream since I was a kid struggling with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia to be in the comic book business. Comic books have helped me learn how to deal with my learning disability. And that's why this project is so important to me, because comic books have been so influential in my life. Born into an outcast breed of werewolves known as the Monokai, 18-year-old Rodney Marcelli is reluctantly thrown into an ancient war between good and evil. With the help of Snowpaw, the pure-blood Monokai, Rod must learn to master his newly found lycanthropy and mysterious kinetic energy.
And to see the rest of that video, go to, I think he's actually got a site that helps you. Yeah, here it is, Lone Wolf Comics /Nightwolf / Yeah, I think it's a / So, excuse me again. Still getting over this little bit of cold we had. and swallowing the wrong way before is a little bit of a problem. If you hear Jackson in the background, he's home from school still today, still getting healthy. So it's how we do. And speaking of how we do, Belial #2 really linked story. Make Mine a Double is on Kickstarter. And here we go. Let's check out this amazing video.
What up, my demons? I'm Chuck Pino, one half of the Belial creator team. We're super excited to bring you double the fun, double the hilarity, and double the pain in this crazy underdog adventure where our boy, Belial, the original creator of Hell, takes on 2 horsemen, Pestilence and Famine. We have lots of great rewards for you, such as amazing variants by superstar artists such as Steph Wilson, Chris Madd, Thomas Tenney, and even more to come as the campaign rolls on. We would love it if you checked out everything we have in store, because it's only going to get better. Thank you so much, and stay evil.
And that's it, guys. Keep us advocating for comics. Consider contributing to us while we're crowdfunding. Might as well crowdfund for the site, because this ain't cheap to run. The website, the hosting, all the things that we do actually costs money. So if you're looking to crowdfund, keep this crowdfunding show alive, this will be brought to you by you. You can help us out. Help us continue to advocate. While we advocate for thousands of creators and hundreds of projects a year at no charge, the tools we use, such as web hosting, URLs, and computers, have an annual cost. Help comic book advocates stay on air. Please consider donating anything you can to help us to continue to advocate and put on advocating program for everyone to enjoy. Become an advocate for us and a sponsor for advocating. Who knows? If we make enough, maybe we can hire a full-time editor. All right, next week, this will be hosted by, as I go on vacation, Chuck. Chuck will actually be hosting it. Who the guest will be determined next week, but he's actually going to be, well, the announcer voice, actually. He'll be the announcer voice like I always am. So here we go. This is what Backer Pause is. Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Well, it's when we get judges who are creators to sit down and watch crowdfunding videos that we are proudly advocating for on comicbookadvocates.com. And they hit pause when they lose interest in the videos that we are watching and experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans of the viewers and what works and does not work for their videos. Want to be a judge? Are you ready to play? Welcome to Backer Pause. All right, now you can see Kickstarter for the independent creator. And you can get it now on Amazon. Make sure you check out our friend Camila Zhang, who gave us an amazing video about how to make a great Kickstarter video. Coming soon to crowdfunding, we're still waiting for Max Berger. We're going to be seeing the 8-bit Shinobi arcade. Let's see if that actually went live yet or not. Still waiting on that. We'll get there, though, I promise. Remember, Only Death Can Save Us is the winner for today, this week. And we'll continue, by the way, with the polls. This is going to continue. I meant the polls for the weekdays. For the news program, CNW has been doing a thing where we're picking the headlines. It doesn't seem to be that active right now, so the extra effort put in might not be worth it, so we might be turning it off. Of course, Nightwolf is now live. And remember to check out our advocating network. Look, you guys, we do this for you. So you tell us how you want these shows. We make adjustments. We're always refining the shows. If the polls are something that you're not interested in, that's fine. We don't have to have you guys do the polls. If you like the polls, make some noise. Let us know what you think. We will be taking a vacation during election week. When we come back the following week, there will be some changes. We're going to fine-tune some of the shows, and we look forward to bringing you better content. I hope you like this version of how we can help with crowdfunding. This might be something we do the week of the election just to make sure that we're helping those who are crowdfunding. So stay tuned with that. I will be back with you in 2 weeks. Actually, no, longer, 3 weeks. You won't have me on this show. I will not be hosting this until believe it or not, Veterans Day, the official Veterans Day. I think that we're celebrating a different day. I don't know. I'm going to have to look on my son's calendar. But Veterans Day itself falls on the 11th, which is November 11th, by the way, which is when we will be back with the Backer Pause with me hosting it. On the 28th, we will have Chuck. On the 4th, we might do a New York Minute show. It's also a little shorter, just so you know. The New York Minute, I hope you like this format. This will be something that we might do if we don't have as many crowdfunding during the holiday season. Because during the holidays, not as many people go to crowdfunding. So this is going to be the replacement. Maybe even if we don't have a guest, instead of me trying to do Backer Pause, we now have this in our arsenal. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at 11.